Okay, hello. We are hosting this conversation. My name is Nick Howes. I lead the LMI UK team. I'm here with Monawar Hussain, who has recently joined our team, and really excited about having a conversation for the next half an hour or so to find out a little bit more about Monawar, his history. He's got some extraordinary stories to tell, many of which won't get told in this half an hour, but you certainly get a flavor of some of those and the opportunity, I'm sure, to get in touch and find out more through the work that Monawar is doing. Let's kick off. Monawar, just give us an introduction, a bit of an overview, a background to who are you, what have you been doing, and kind of how do you find yourself arriving here, getting involved with LMI and the work of leadership development.
Yeah, great to be with you, Nick, and lovely to see you. Yeah, hello to everyone whoever's listening. Yeah, I mean, I suppose my journey really in terms of business and entrepreneurship started when I was about 14. My father gave me a bit of money so I could buy some sort of homeware, cutlery, and that kind of stuff to sell to my mom's friends. And that's how my business career started. And so thanks to that. And then by the age of about 18, just over 18, I think, there was a petrol station up for lease, and it was in rural Oxfordshire. Wasn't doing so well. And we went and visited that, and I thought, well, I can make this work. This could be my first business, and it was my first business.
Wow.
And but I needed 10 grand. Can you believe 10,000 quid in those days? Quite a bit of money. And the bank wouldn't lend it to me because I was only 18. And so my brother actually put his house up for 10 grand, secured it under for 10 grand, sort of loan, business loan. And that £10,000 investment in the first year turned over 500,000 quid. And
Wow.
I ran that business for 23 years, finishing in 2009, turning over just over £2.5 million, 5 employees, and through that period, I was able to study retail management and law at Oxford Polytechnic, Oxford Brookes University, which is local university. Then I read theology. I always loved finding out about other faiths and other cultures, and I thought, right, let's start with theology. So I read theology at the University of Oxford, and it was and during that time I also had a international trading company that I set up. So if you wanted anything, I could get it for you from anywhere in the world. We were dealing with China before anybody else was dealing with them in a big way. And that was a great experience because through business, you meet people from different backgrounds. You learn about other cultures. You learn about, sensitive sort of customs and so on. And so that was just a wonderful experience. And then around sort of 2003, because I had sort of continued studies, I ended up getting this position at Eton College as a Muslim faith tutor, because I was always been interested in theology and spirituality and so on. And so that kind of put me into open up a great deal of extra sort of public position or public life for me. I was featured in newspapers and television and so on, and so that was the start of another journey for me, in addition to my business background, which was really about how can I use my position to build bridges between um, faith and different cultures. How do we create understanding between different faiths and different cultures? So I set up something called the Oxford Foundation, which is a charity that does that kind of work. So I chair that now. Um, and and I suppose my journey really to LMI, over the last few years, I'd been thinking about leadership. What is it that makes a good leader? So I've been doing a lot of reading, around the subject. And of course, then we had that wonderful conversation, and I sort of, started digging up and learning more about LMI. And what really struck me was just the brilliant programs. They're so practical, and they really ask fundamental questions about, what's your purpose? What are your goals? And in accordance with your goals and your purpose, you align all your activities. And that sense of, even if you're progressing towards your goals, you're successful. We expect sort of success to be like, loads of money, big contacts, big house and all of that. But in fact, success is those small steps that we take to realizing our goals. So that's how LMI. And then in between, of course, I was a hospital chaplain as well, and that was a great privilege to be part of a Oxford University Hospitals Trust, which enabled me to kind of support usually families and patients towards the end of their life. So that was another perspective of life that I'd never experienced before. So it's an honor and a privilege, but it's the hardest thing I'd ever done in my life, but also the most rewarding, because I was there supporting complete strangers, people I didn't know. And so that was, so I've had a real good mixture of
Certainly.
things. I mean, in Oxfordshire, I've been a deputy lieutenant since 2009. I was high sheriff in 2020 and 21 for a year. So that's, again, it's a royal appointment. So I've got a varied sets of experience and life experience. But the key thing for me is I love people and I love working with people. And so I've gone into done mentoring at local schools here. Young people who might be going off the track a bit, getting into trouble with the police, sitting down with them one to one, because I just believe that every single human being has potential. They've been gifted with something, and all we've got to do is just support them to bring that out so that they can also flourish. And everyone gets a really good chance at making an impactful life, but also a fulfilling life. So that kind of little bit of brushstrokes of the kinds of things I've been doing, Nick.
Yeah, about 35 decades of life crammed
Yeah.
into a really short space of time. And our joke internally has become, if you want to meet somebody or of influence, just ask Monawar. He knows them already, and he probably had dinner with them last week. So loads we could really dig into your business and entrepreneurship kind of experiences, your community and civic leadership. Perhaps we can spend a bit more time on there. Tell us a bit about some of those experiences as a community leader, and anybody who's connected with Monawar, for example, on LinkedIn, and you'll see some of the major gatherings that he's been part of organizing and bringing together. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how it shaped your thoughts about leadership and why leadership is so important?
Yeah, I mean, number one, when you have an idea and you believe in that, go for it. So many times people have said to me, it can't be done. You know, give people are sort of good at giving excuses why it can't be done. And I say, no, tell me how we can do this. How can we make this happen? So I suppose one of the initiatives I started, which is a national initiative, is simple idea. How do we create shared spaces in our communities across the country where people can gather, share something of their faith, something of their culture, have a song, and also network. And so I've had these United for Peace events across the country. And many a times people have said to me, you've got to change X, Y, Z, you've got to do this and that. No, I said, no, I believe in the kind of the idea of shared spaces. Because after all, we're neighbors from our neighbor might be from a different faith or no faith, from different culture, our colleagues at work, there's such diversity. And why can't we share a space which is more cultural? where we share some, music, some of our favorite music from our culture, maybe some food, just bringing people together. And so, on occasions, people have said, oh, look, it's a huge venue you have. How are you going to get sort of 250 people at the Clothworkers Hall in the City of London? They very kindly for one of our events gave me that all free. It's a wonderful venue. And I said, look, I don't know how I'm going to get the 250 key leaders from across the City of London there, but I'm going to have a go because I
Yep.
believe in this stuff. And it took me about 18 months for that particular event. Lots of sort of travel to London and back, but building relationships, building trust, and working with key players in that city. And on the evening when we had this event in 2019, the hall was full. People had never experienced anything like that before, because when we bring this rich diversity of cultures and faiths and people together, we create something beautiful. And I get a real buzz out of that. And so leadership is about, it's about taking and carrying everyone with you, and everyone feeling that they're part of, the journey, as it were, part of this experience, and feeling that they have a stake in this, because we all need to feel we have a stake in our communities and our society. And once we do that, we're all going to make an extra effort to make things happen, and to make things that are positive and that affirm our common humanity, our love for each other, rather than stuff that's divisive and so on.
Yeah, brilliant. Wow, lots of important themes there around. If you've got a, a dream, you believe in something, go for it. Don't be knocked off course. Building relationships and trust, and take people with you. Of course, sort of major leadership themes. If you were to perhaps highlight some of the really practical aspects of leadership that you've learned and come to see as very important over your the entirety of your career in its many different facets, what would some of those key things be?
Well, the first is love of people and be sincere. If you're selling a product, a service, delivering a community event, um, be genuine, be who you are. Just be who you are, because that's what gives you integrity, authenticity, and it shines through. People get you, and if you're kind of a little um, if that sincerity isn't there and you have other motives, people see through that. So the key thing is actually having real, genuine love for people, and and from that flows this sense of wanting the best for everyone. Even when we're in business, we're into the business leadership development. It's about supporting and helping people to reach their full potential. you know and once we do that, there's a real sense of fulfillment for ourselves as well. Our motto, sort of, changing the world one leader at a time. That's
Yes.
brilliant. Because that's what we're doing. We're trying to change, and help and support each and every leader to reach their fullest potential. So that's one of the things, is being genuine. Be yourself. um, Build relationships of integrity, of trust, um, of real sense of actually, being genuine and supporting each other. Um, Also being determined and committed to what you want to achieve. Being clear, having a clear sense of purpose. It's so important. With the United Peace, I know what I wanted to do. That was a decade ago. And I've done some huge events. Last year we had in Edinburgh, at the Edinburgh Episcopal Cathedral, the whole place was full. 500 people. We've had huge events here in Oxfordshire and across the country. And that's come about because, it's relationships, it's genuineness and sincerity. People see the value in what you're doing. And so for me, relationships has been very important, building relationships of trust. And then what shines through is what you do. It's not what you talk about. It's not the talk, it's the walk. It's actually people seeing what you can do and achieve. And I've always felt that rather than talking about what I do, I need to actually be doing what I want, what I am passionate about. And so a lot of my work that I've done actually shines through. So actually, leadership is a whole host of things. But for me, at the heart of it has been about relationships, about friendships. We're going to do business, we're going to make a difference. But the way we do it is through building empathy with each other and showing that, respect and sincerity and being genuine. And actually wanted to make a difference. We all want to make a difference, and actually, making that difference has, those are some of the key components. I'm sure there's loads of others, and for each person there will be different components, but I just can't emphasize enough the sense of building relationships in every sphere of endeavor, whether it's public service, whether it's business, entrepreneurship, having those good relationships based on trust, they deliver huge dividends for all around. It's
Yep.
win-win.
Yep, you're like the line that's in our effective motivational leadership program, the LMI program, and it says leadership is influenced through relationships, and
Yeah,
very much kind of
absolutely.
captures some of what you're talking about, of sincerity, authenticity, being somebody that others will connect with, trust, and want to follow and work with and partner with, and all those sorts of things. Could you say a little bit? So you've come in contact with us with LMI UK and experienced the sort of things that we do and the programs that we offer, and you've mentioned about how practical they are. Could
Mm.
you say a little bit about kind of what it is you've appreciated in the LMI offering, and how you see that helping you in terms of kind of further your own mission of helping and serving others?
Yeah. The first thing, being clear about one's purpose and mission. That's, absolutely, where are you heading? That example you often give, Nick, if you take the taxi and the taxi driver wants to know where are you heading, and if you don't know, then of course you're not going to go anywhere. So just being clear in terms of your purpose and your mission. So that's really important, because from that will flow your tasks, your travel towards that particular goal and mission and purpose that you're aiming for. So for me, the programs are very practical. So the first thing really is about, what is your purpose? And purpose not just in terms of business, but purpose in your personal life, in your spiritual life, in your cultural life. So it's trying to get the balance right, because we're all talking about work balance. The program actually is built to deliver that. So it's built to deliver that balance, so you can be an effective leader, but you're also an effective, dad or mom, effective friend, having good relationships. And actually, it's good for us. It's good for our mental well-being. So if we want to flourish and be effective, we've got to get it right in all of those different compartments. Otherwise, we might have done really well in terms of, business and made money and so on. But do we still have the friendships? Are our relationships broken down? Because if they have, then really we're not sort of total or complete leaders. in a sense. So the practicality of actually writing stuff down, where are you heading, and then revisiting that and measuring one's progress. That's the other thing. How am I making progress, and how am I measuring that? So having those targets of, X, being absolutely clear in terms of I'm going to achieve this unit of sales. I'm going to, have one lunch a week, or I'm going to visit so and so, as a friend. We're going to go out for a movie. So getting the whole that balance right, and it's about writing it down too. And that's and the other effective way of learning and delivering our program is that multi-sensory way of learning. So it's space repetition. So you're kind of reading the material, you're listening to the audio tapes, you're making notes and you're writing stuff down. And the other is, there's an avalanche of emails. I get so many emails, so many requests, and they're all in a sense important because you want to try and help people. But what I've discovered through the effective personal productivity program that I've been on is that, does this align with my purpose? If it does, great. I can be involved in this. If it doesn't, then although it might be important, it's not imperative, and I can't do that because if I do this, what am I not doing? It might be spending time with family, might be spending time with friends, might be going out for a walk. So there is a cost to everything, every decision and choice that we make. So that's been really very, very helpful. But it's reflecting and thinking, and it's not just theory. It's actually all the time, as life is changing for us, as we're progressing, we're making changes in our program, in our tasks, and also in our purpose, because it might be that things change and our purpose and our goals change too, and then our activities are reflected because we have an aim and a purpose, and that's been a really important point of enlightenment, as it were. And I just wish I'd accessed this program when I was a lot younger.
Yes. Yeah. So it's really interesting to hear you talk there about the impact of some of those practical tools of big picture leadership things, but practical tools about writing down your goals and aligning your daily activity with those goals. And again, so much of that is super practical stuff.
Mm.
So taking your incredible, we could say vast life experience and leadership experience in both in the business world and in the community civic arena as well, a passion for leadership and helping others reach their full potential. Could you kind of, I guess, conclude with saying who can you help and how can you help them? In other words, people watching this or listening to it, who should get in touch with you and what can you help them with? That, I guess that's the thing. What's the mission now in terms of taking some of these ideas and these tools and using them to help others?
I think the first would be the Young Leaders Program, Making Up a Champion. I think it's a brilliant program. It's aimed at young people. I've worked with young people throughout my life, and if we can enable them to have those foundational core skills, it will set them up for life. So that's number one. Number two really is for leaders across the field, who want to, who have a mission and a purpose, who feel that they need to upskill, and enable themselves to get the skills to realize their full potential. And that could be anyone. It could be a small business owner, could be a CEO of a charity. Because of the experience that I have, I feel that I can really support and help them achieve their goals within their charity or small business or medium-sized business. Because at the end of the day, it's about the person and how can we help that person to achieve, a balance in life, but also align their activities in realizing their purpose and their goals and their key potential. What are they aiming for? And we're here really to help and support them achieve that. And the wonderful thing about the EPP program, the effective personal productivity is, halfway through, if you ain't happy, you get a full refund.
Wow.
You know, I don't think we can do any better than that. So, it's a 12-week program. Every couple of weeks we come together for a review, and we are confident. I mean, I've been on this. I know how effective it is, and it will help anyone who comes on it. It's guaranteed to do that.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. You've done a great job on explaining that, and again that authenticity of having experienced that yourself and wanting others to as well. So, anybody who's heard this, who is a leader, really in any field, the leadership qualities and the challenges and some of those practical solutions are similar, whatever industry or world that you're leading in. To become a better leader of yourself and your team and others, then get in touch with Monawar. And also, if you are involved with working with young people and you're interested, I know we've talked a lot about this, and we, Monawar, have a shared passion to develop young leaders, and particularly using the Making of a Champion program. Then please get in touch. You'll find Monawar's contact details on the LMI website, on the team page, so lmi-uk.com. And if you do about us and meet the team, or you'll find Monawar on LinkedIn and you can connect with him there. And I'd recommend doing that because there's all sorts of interesting things that you're sharing on there that are fascinating. Anything else in conclusion that you'd like to say, just to end this
Well,
video?
I'm just so pleased to be part of LMI UK. I think what we do, and we've been doing that for about 60 odd years, it's having an impact. It makes a difference to people's lives, and it's making a difference to our world. And so I'm just so pleased to be part of it. And it's also helping me to grow and also to learn more, because we've got to be learning all the time. And that's how life's been for me. Just constantly challenging myself and growing. And that's what a good leader is about, always challenging myself, growing, and building on the kind of potential. And actually sometimes realizing that, oh God, I didn't know I could do this, and we've all got that in us, to say, oh, I didn't realize I could do that. We can, making it happen together.
Brilliant. Great way to end. Thank you ever so much.
Thanks, Nick. Lovely to see you, mate.
Cheers.
Cheers.